Hi everyone, welcome to my channel once again. This is the social issues segment of my channel. I'm your host, Dr. Sene. For those who are new to my channel, I post videos on Tuesdays and Sundays on crime, celebrity news, social issues, and anything else that I find interesting to talk about. Today I want to bring to you a little discussion about the connection between Prince Andrew and Jeffery Epstein. But before we get into that, remember to give me a like if you enjoy the video and subscribe to support my channel and leave a comment down below because I love reading your comments and the conversations you have in the comments box. Thank you. Let's do it now. Jeffery Epstein, the convicted sex offender known for his carnal abuse of young girls. Let's look at the allegations that have been raised against Prince Andrew in relation to sexual dealings with young girls. Prince Andrew said he regretted spending time in the convicted child sex offender Jeffery Epstein's home, but believed it was the honorable thing to do at the time. Prince Andrew made this comment in an interview on the 17th of November 2019 with the BBC's Newsnight program, the first time he spoke publicly about his close friendship with convicted pedophile, sex trafficker Epstein. Guys, the public is wondering what is so honorable to have spent days in a convicted sex offender's home, knowing he was using and abusing young girls. You know, guys, that Epstein was on charges, federal charges, for the sex trafficking of minors in Florida and New York. When asked by interviewer Emily Maitlis why he stayed in the house of a convicted sex offender, Prince Andrew described it as a convenient place to stay and said, "I've gone through this in my mind so many times, but at the end of the day, with the benefit of all the hindsight that one can have, it was definitely the wrong thing to do, but at the time, I felt it was the honorable and right thing to do. I admit fully my judgment was probably colored by my tendency to be too honorable, but that's the way it is." Prince Andrew's words. The stories about Prince Andrew and his association with this sick sex predator, Epstein, who had a perverse lust for girls as young as 13, are not very honorable though. Let's look at the accusations brought forth by one of Epstein's sexual slaves, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who alleges she was a victim of pedophile Jeffery Epstein and claims she was trafficked between London, New York, and the Caribbean to have sex with powerful men, including Prince Andrew. The Duke has strenuously denied having sex with Virginia Roberts and or any other wrongdoing. Take a look. Earlier, Prince Andrew had commented that the photo was photoshopped as his fingers looked much fatter or something like that. Some bizarre claim, guys. Asking the prince about alleged sexual encounter with Virginia Roberts, which Virginia alleges took place when she was flown to London on Epstein's private jet when she was just 17 years old. The interviewer Maitlis said, "She says she met you in 2001 and she says she dined with you, danced with you at Tramp nightclub in London. She went on to have sex with you in a house in Belgravia belonging to Ghislaine Maxwell, your friend." Your response? Prince Andrew said he had no recollection of ever meeting Virginia Roberts, the woman who claims to have been coerced into having sex with the royal by warped, twisted, sick financier Jeffery Epstein. No recollection. What convenient memory loss, people say. The world ain't buying it, Prince Andrew. That's what many people are saying who are expressing their opinions on this matter. Guys, please note that these are not just my views. These are all published views. Guys, go have a read. Ghislaine Maxwell, the 58-year-old mistress and madam of Epstein, herself an alleged sex trafficker, according to what I have read, was a close friend of Prince Andrew. This woman was known for her alleged abuse of girls. According to published material I have read, that you can all go and read further, guys, luring young girls, some runaways, some financially destitute, into the hands of Epstein and his wealthy friends to be sexually abused. Ghislaine Maxwell did all this, we are told, under the guise of hiring the girls as massage parlor girls, amid the swirl of parties, private planes, and power brokers. Prince Andrew, trying to survive through the interview, added he regretted remaining friends with Epstein after he was found guilty of sexual offenses. I stayed with him, and that's a bit, as it were, I kick myself for on a daily basis, because it was not something that was becoming of a member of the royal family, and we try to uphold the highest standards and practices, and I let the side down. Simple as that. Prince Andrew's words. Asked again if he had any memory of meeting Virginia Roberts' girlfriend, he repeated, no. Virginia had previously said that while the prince denies the claims, he knows the truth and I know the truth. Prince Andrew has faced a barrage of criticism for his links to Epstein. Virginia is supposed to have described in some unsealed court documents how she performed a sex act on Ghislaine Maxwell, the accused madam of Epstein, in front of the billionaire pedophile Jeffery Epstein on his private island. Prince Andrew is alleged to have had sex with Virginia Roberts for the first time in Maxwell's London home. Virginia is one of the 16 women who say they were abused by Epstein. Guys, according to an article I read in The Guardian, analysis of legal papers, 20 years of newspaper reports, and Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs shows that the deceased financier and convicted sex offender's friendship with Prince Andrew was very close. Prince Andrew said in his interview with BBC News Night that he met Epstein in 1999 through Epstein's former girlfriend, the disgraced, disgusting, and sick sexual predator Ghislaine Maxwell, we just talked about. Maxwell, the socialite daughter of a disgraced press baron, Robert Maxwell, has been accused by a number of women, as I said before, of being complicit with Epstein in sex trafficking and abuse, and in some cases, partaking in it. Of course, she has denied all allegations against her. Denials, and more denials. While it's widely believed that Prince Andrew met Epstein through Maxwell, some have suggested that they met earlier than 1999. I read that a 2011 letter to the Times of London from the Prince's then private secretary, Alistair Watson, suggests the pair knew each other from the early 1990s. Guys, this is information available for all of you to go and read. Prince Andrew says he and Epstein were not that close. However, published news items say the pair attended several private dinners, parties, and fundraisers together, including a birthday party the prince threw for Maxwell at Sandringham House, the private residence of the Queen, in year 2000. The same year, Epstein and the prince partied with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, his residence in Palm Beach, Florida. The following year, Prince Andrew and Epstein went on holiday together and were pictured in a yacht in Phuket, Thailand, surrounded by topless young women. The Times of London reported that the prince's holiday was paid for by Epstein. Guys, read the article in the Daily Mail by Guy Adams, published on 20th August 2019. And you will read some very interesting stuff about the prince and his alliance with Epstein. The prince and Maxwell are known to have been together at least a dozen times before 1999 and 2001. For instance, they were pictured at Heidi Klum's Hookers and Pimps fancy dress party in October year 2000, a month after being pictured at the wedding of a mutual friend. There was speculation the pair were dating. Guys, go do your own reading. Look for Zoe Williams' article, The Party Prince, How Andrew Got His Bad Reputation, published in The Guardian on the 29th of November. Maxwell is reported to have introduced the prince to at least one person he dated. An email exchange between Prince Andrew and Maxwell days after the prince was named in US court documents submitted by Virginia Roberts suggests he was asking for help in responding to the allegations. In 2015, emails unearthed in a BBC Panorama investigation, the prince writes, "Let me know when we can talk. Got some specific questions to ask you about Virginia Roberts." Maxwell replies, "Have some info. Call me when you have a moment." Prince Andrew claims to have no recollection of meeting Virginia Roberts despite being pictured with her, his arm around her in the now notorious photograph the entire world has seen. Virginia Roberts claims she was first trafficked by Epstein to have sex with the prince in Maxwell's London home after dancing with him at Tramp nightclub. Prince Andrew told BBC Newsnight he was not at Tramp, but at a children's birthday party at a Pizza Express restaurant. He categorically denies ever having sex with Virginia Roberts. A newspaper article claims, earlier this week, a woman came forward to claim she saw the prince and Virginia Roberts feet away from each other on the dance floor at the club. The prince told Newsnight, "It's very difficult to forget having sex with someone because it's a positive act for a man." The other allegations, guys, there are many others. Read Christy Cooney's article in The Sun of 22nd August 2019. Johanna Soberg claims Prince Andrew fondled her breast at Epstein's New York home on the same night as Virginia Roberts' second allegation, when she was 21. The prince has denied any sexual contact with Soberg as well. Guys, read the Daily Mail article by Joel Adams for the Mail Online, published on 23rd August 2019. That gives information about Prince Andrew getting a foot massage from two young Russian women in Jeffery Epstein's mansion. Prince Andrew denies all these allegations. Are there other allegations? Prince Andrew was seen inside the New York home of Epstein getting a foot massage from a young Russian woman, according to emails between literary agent John Brockman and author Evgeny Morozov. Brockman is reported to have said, "Last time I visited his house, I walked in to find him in a sweatsuit and a British guy in a suit with suspenders, braces, getting foot massages from two young, well-dressed Russian women. Brockman writes that the prince complained about his public profile. In Monaco, Albert works 12 hours a day, but at 9 p.m. when he goes out, he does whatever he wants, and nobody cares. But if I do it, I am in big trouble. The email describes him as saying, at that point, Brockman writes, I realized that the recipient of Irina's foot massage was His Royal Highness Prince Andrew, Duke of York. Exploration into Epstein's flight logs revealed that Prince Andrew flew on Epstein's private plane at least 4 times, once to Edinburgh, once to Virgin Islands, and twice to Palm Beach. 6 weeks after Epstein was arrested for sex offenses on September 1st, 2006, the prince flew from London Luton to Edinburgh on Epstein's plane with Maxwell. An analysis of the flight logs by Channel 4's dispatchers found that on 16 April 1998, Epstein met Sarah Ferguson on the ground of Nassau on the Bahamas. The flight logs also confirm that Virginia Roberts was in London on the night of her first alleged meeting with the prince. It's also well known now that Sarah Ferguson had borrowed money from Epstein to settle her debts. Disgraceful. There's more information, guys, for you to go and read. It's all there for you to go and read. Before I go, guys, a bit of laughter.
Someone asked someone,
You got a foot massage from 2 young Russian women? No, can't be me. I had no feet then. Have a laugh, guys. And don't forget to subscribe to support my channel. That's it from me. Good night.